Okay, controversial question coming at you right now. What if being nice is actually the thing that's keeping you stuck? Like, what if all that people pleasing and bending over backwards for everyone is exactly why you feel so drained and resentful all the time? And here's a follow up that might sting just a little bit. When was the last time you said no to something without immediately launching into a 5-minute explanation about why you can't do it? Grab your wine because we're about to talk about something that's been bothering me for a minute. I keep seeing women apologizing for existing, shrinking themselves to make other people feel comfortable, and then wondering why nobody takes them seriously. If you're tired of being that person that everyone comes to when they need something, but never when they're celebrating something, if you're sick of feeling like you have to earn your place in every room you walk into, we need to have a real conversation about this good girl programming that's been running your life. So, what is people pleasing really? It's approval seeking that got hardwired into your brain when you were little. Think about it. How many times did you hear, be a good girl, or don't make any waves, or if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all? You learned that love was conditional. You were praised when you were compliant, or you were ignored or punished when you weren't. So your brain figured out the survival strategy: predict what everyone wants and give it to them, and you'll be safe. The problem is, you're not 7 years old anymore, but you're still running that same program. And now, instead of keeping you safe, it's keeping you small. The hidden cost of this is massive. You lose your identity because you're so busy being what everyone else needs. You carry around this constant resentment because you're always giving and never receiving. You're emotionally burned out because you're taking responsibility for everyone else's feelings. And your boundaries? What boundaries? This didn't happen in a vacuum. If you're struggling with this, there's probably some childhood stuff going on here. Maybe you had emotionally unavailable parents who only showed love when you achieved something or behaved perfectly. Maybe you had controlling caregivers who made you feel guilty for having your own opinions or needs. You got praised for being helpful, for being easy, for not causing any problems. So you internalize this belief that your worth equals your usefulness. You learn to shrink yourself, to overfunction in relationships, to smooth over any tension, even when it wasn't your job. I'm guilty of that. And the worst part, you stop trusting yourself. You need everyone else's opinion before making decisions because somewhere along the way you decided your own judgment wasn't valid. You became terrified of rejection, so you'll do anything to avoid disappointing people, even when those people wouldn't do the same for you. If that's you, let me know in the comments below, and I'll film a video on this exact topic because this really deserves its own time and its own space. Let me paint a picture and tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You say yes when you want to say no, even for the smallest things. Someone asks you to cover their shift when you're already exhausted? Sure, no problem. Someone wants to vent to you for the third time this week about the same issue. Of course, I'm here for you. You apologize constantly. Sorry for bothering you with this email. Sorry for taking up your time. Sorry for existing. Okay, maybe not that last one, but you get me, right? You prioritize everyone else's comfort over your own needs. You're cold, but you don't ask them to turn up the heat because you don't want to be difficult. You're hungry, but you don't suggest a restaurant because what if they don't like it? You hide your opinions or tone yourself down to avoid conflict. Someone says something you completely disagree with, and you just nod along because you don't want to rock the boat. And here's the big one. You feel anxious when other people are upset or disapprove of you, even when their reaction has nothing to do with you. Your boss is in a bad mood, and suddenly you're spiraling about what you did wrong. Make it make sense. If any of this is hitting a little too close to home, hit that like button because I see you, and we are going to figure this out together. Here's why this pattern is so sticky. External validation feels really good. When people say, you're amazing, or I don't know what I'd do without you, it gives you this hit of dopamine. You feel needed, appreciated, important even. Plus, there's the fear. What if you stop people pleasing and everyone abandons you? What if you set boundaries and people get angry? What if you prioritize yourself and people think you're selfish for it? And there's this addiction to control happening too. You think if you can just manage everyone's perceptions, predict their responses or their reactions, give them what they want, you can control the outcome. Spoiler alert, you can't. But maybe the biggest reason it's hard to stop is because being nice has become your identity. It's not just what you do, it's who you think you are. And changing that feels scary because then who are you? First step is awareness. Start noticing when you're performing instead of choosing authentically. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to or because I think I should? Then do some inner work. When you catch yourself people pleasing, dig deeper. Why am I doing this? For example, you can ask yourself this. What am I afraid will happen if I don't? Usually the answer is way more dramatic than reality. You need to build self-trust. Start keeping small promises to yourself. Say you're going to work out and do it. Promise yourself you'll go to bed early and follow through with that. Your confidence grows every time you show up for yourself. And here's the big one. You need to reparent yourself. That hit hard, huh? That hit hard for me, and I was just saying it. Give yourself the unconditional validation you didn't get as a kid. Stop waiting for other people to approve of you and start approving of yourself. If you're finding this helpful and you want more content about building genuine confidence and setting boundaries, make sure you're subscribed because we're just getting started with this conversation. Stop trying to predict everyone's reactions. Let them own their own emotions, right? Their disappointment is not your emergency. So you can practice saying no. So do that. Practice saying no without over-explaining, though. You don't need to justify your boundaries. I can't take that on right now is a complete sentence. I teach my daughters that you can even say no thank you if you want to keep your responses less blunt. But start with low-stakes boundaries. Text someone back later instead of immediately. Whether you know it or not, being less responsive is also a form of creating boundaries. Decline a small favor. No thank you can work here too. Order what you actually want at a restaurant. Don't order cute so you can eat cute. Girl, you better eat those ribs and stop playing. When you feel guilty for setting a boundary, get curious instead. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me about what I value? Guilt often shows up when you're doing something healthy that feels a little unfamiliar. Keep track of moments when you stand firm. Build evidence that you can set boundaries and survive the discomfort that comes with it. There are 7 types of boundaries, and most people only think about 1 or 2. There's physical boundaries, who can touch you and how. Emotional boundaries, you don't have to absorb everyone's feelings. Time boundaries, your schedule is not everyone else's to manage. Financial boundaries, you don't owe anyone your money. Spiritual boundaries, your beliefs are yours. Sexual boundaries, obvious but ignored. And non-negotiable boundaries, the things that are absolute deal breakers for you. Figure out which ones you need most right now. Then practice communicating them simply and clearly. I can't take that on right now. I'm not available tonight, but thank you for thinking of me. That doesn't work for me. And here's the crucial part. Don't budge once you set that boundary. Be firm in it. The first time you cave, you teach people that your boundaries are negotiable. And that's just not the truth. Now, here's the pushback. Now here's the kicker. People are going to test your new boundaries, especially the ones who benefited from the old version of you. They might get angry, guilt trip you, or try to make you feel like you're the selfish one. But stay calm. Don't get pulled into emotional drama. Repeat your boundary without justifying it. No is a complete sentence, remember? If someone continues to disrespect your boundaries after you've made them clear, either limit contact with them or just step away completely. You're not required to keep people in your life who refuse to treat you with respect. Stop thinking of putting yourself first as selfish. That's maintenance. You can't pour from an empty cup and all those other cliches that are cliches because they're true. When you respect yourself, you attract healthier relationships and better opportunities. People treat you the way you show them to treat you. And I am a firm believer that you train people how to treat you. When you have standards, people either rise to meet them or they remove themselves from your life. Both outcomes give you clarity. Period. Learn to love your own company. Date yourself. Take yourself out. Do things you enjoy. Stop waiting for other people to make your life interesting. Practice showing up authentically even when it feels risky. Share your real opinions. Wear what you want. Do things that make you happy even if other people don't understand. Use your anger and discomfort as data, not shame. When something bothers you, that's information about where you need boundaries. Don't apologize for having feelings. Focus on building a life that feels good to you, not one that just looks good to other people. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live in it. Here's what I want you to try. Pick one area where you've been overgiving and practice saying no this week. Maybe it's covering extra shifts. Maybe it's being everyone's free therapist. Maybe it's saying yes to plans you don't actually want to make. Remember, respect starts from within. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself, right? If you don't respect your own time, energy, and needs, why should anyone else? This is just the beginning of unlearning years of conditioning, so be patient with yourself. And if you want to keep diving into this stuff with me, I've got more videos coming about building unshakable confidence and stopping the comparison trap, because you know we all struggle with it. You don't need permission to put yourself first. You don't need to earn your place in this world. You are already enough exactly as you are. A video just popped up on the screen. It's one I think you'll really like, so press play and let's continue the conversation. I'll see you there.